Friends, how are you doing? What a day, what a week in the market. I mean, obviously this has been a drama-filled market here. Obviously I want to stick on conversation with Palantir, Hood here, Robinhood. I mean, both these stocks just came out with unbelievable quarterlies. I mean, there's no really way to cut it. And obviously there's people that are very bearish on Palantir, bullish but bearish with what's going on with it. There's people that are very much in that ballpark too with Hood, but I think Robinhood has a lot more. People have a lot more grace with it, what's going on from what I'm seeing. But, this is a moment too where we're looking at this and, obviously the market has sold off dramatically with, you can pick which problem the market is looking at right now. Jobs. One of the biggest too is that this tariff situation with the Supreme Court and Trump, and that will be happening Wednesday. So that is really going to, has the market already sold off for that could go bad? Or if that does go bad, what is the market? How is it going to react to that? The S&P today at noon today, on Friday here to close out the market, the S&P sunk down to 6,300 points. Wow. And then it climbed all the way back up to 67 and some change here. Wow, that is so much money. You want to talk about manipulation. You want to talk about Wall Street getting theirs back. Oh my God, that is crazy. And a lot of stocks, end of the day better, obviously, than they were even 24, 48 hours ago. It's a wild time. It's a wild time out there. It is wild. So, let's talk about it right now, what's going on. And this is the main thing. People are like, what is the bottom with these stocks? When should I buy in? Should I buy in? I've been buying. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And no matter if it gets worse from here, wherever it goes, I'm still okay with where I'm buying right now. Even SoFi sank down to this morning to like $25 or $24. Then it shot back up here at almost trying back to 30. Robinhood sank down a lot. So, let's just stay on topic here. I like drama in the market. I love drama. I love when things are red because, especially with this market that we're in right now, where I'm very much on this mindset that the market is just toying with a lot of people right now. It's toying with people, and we could get some very good numbers back here if things start to pick up. Now, obviously, I think next week, the main drag that is going to determine a lot about this market is this tariff situation. Is Trump's tariffs about to get, wrung out? Is he going to have to start sending checks back to countries? I don't know. I imagine no matter what happens, they're both going to continue to fight about this. This is going to be a thing that we're going to have to deal with. And, this has been the theme of the market all year. The market runs to such a high number, then something gets released. Oh my God. And then the market sells off. I mean, it's just a back and forth. We've seen this. Now, this one is a little more serious. This is like, okay, this could be a problem the market does not like, but we're going to see what happens here. Talking about Robinhood, I was very anxious about these quarterlies that came out here with Robinhood. I went on record here publicly and I said, I'm very concerned. I'm concerned that these quarterlies, if they're not enough to make up with what this price has become here with Robinhood, this could be a problem where we see a dramatic sell-off in Robinhood. And there's no doubt, if Robinhood did not come out with these awesome quarterlies that they just released here for their Q3, this would have been a bloodbath. I mean, this stock would have easily sank back under to, right around 100 to right under 100. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, the proof is in the pudding with what this company is doing. And that's the thing, I'm going to make another video this week with Robinhood and SoFi, and just, I get comments every day where people are like, what's the difference between these two companies, these stocks companies, what are they going to do? I think they're both top-notch tier companies for the next 5-10 years to hold. But with that, Robinhood here is obviously, a very popular stock. And when something's popular, it's going to have a price tag attached to it. So Robinhood, right now, a lot of that extra push that we saw in this quarterly here had to do with their crypto, where they had a high volume of crypto that was ran through their app. And that's the main thing. That is their main, squeeze, their bread and butter. It is obviously they're a trading app. Obviously, too, with that is for the person writing in the comment, Robinhood, made it very clear this year and saying, hey, we are wanting to really push into the foundation of a real bank. That's something that they're trying to do. I don't think that there's anything that's going to stop them. They are obviously going to continue to do that. And two, Robinhood has made it very clear, the CEO, I think this is great. I don't talk about crypto a lot because, a lot of people don't mix and match crypto. It's just such a different world, but I invest in crypto. I think everyone should invest in crypto. Robinhood is very much pushing into this crypto futuristic market ecosystem, whatever this looks like in the near future. They're pushing into it. They're working on it. They talk about it. They're not scared to talk about it. And this is something that I think should be addressed more with other banks, but it's not. And that's one reason why Robinhood, I do believe, gets a lot of the right attention, is that Robinhood and SoFi very much are very on this mountain of, they're not scared to talk about technology, talk about the future, even if it doesn't make a lot of sense to just, a customer base that doesn't understand crypto, AI and the banking system, things of this nature. They very much push into that, and it served them very well here. So, when you talk about, is this the right price to buy Robinhood? We've seen Robinhood really, honestly, it's held a very good price here. This is really, it's really encouraging that the stock has done so well here. It sold off today to this 122. And then it shot back up here to, the one after hours even to 131 and some change. If Robinhood is surviving what we have seen this week, that's very encouraging. I too, when stocks are red like this, when we go through these moments in the market, this is such a thing that you need to look at for each individual stock that you hold, because you're learning something. We're learning what the bottom is with a lot of these stocks. Like, when something goes red, I kind of think in my head like, okay, well, we're digging. We just start digging, and then eventually you get to a bottom with something. And if the worst that we are seeing out of maybe the market in general, maybe things maybe it clears up, maybe Trump wins this Supreme Court case, maybe it just works out. Who knows? Maybe the market recovers by Thursday, Friday, Wednesday. Who knows? Robinhood here is holding some really high aggressive share price. Okay. Where this market goes from here, it's really hard to say, because we just went through these quarterlies and they were aggressive. Now, in that conversation, there's going to be arguing, because people are going to say, well, it's just a circle of AI companies paying each other. There's no new money in that circle. I can understand that 100%. That's an argument that, you may just never win. But obviously, too, there was a lot of these AI companies that found fresh new money. They did. With that, where does the economy go from here? The jobs, the government shutdown, is that going to get cleared up? I think at this point, the markets went, okay, the government shutdown was fun. We had our moment with it. We ran, things went well, and okay, well, maybe let's get things back up and going here. Is the market kind of telling us that right now? Crypto, no doubt about it. When the government, crypto has this. If you know the history of crypto and government shutdowns, whenever there's been a government shutdown in the lifespan of crypto, there's always a short time afterwards where crypto will just run. It will just run. So, that is a potential too. So things with crypto might do well too. So, Robinhood, might do well off of that. SoFi do well off that, because SoFi is very much integrated into this crypto world. I look at Robinhood right now and I go, even if you're buying it at this 120, 130, if the market comes back here next week, which is a complete, toss of the dice here at this point, in the long span of you marrying this stock, you taking a time with it, it's going to serve you well. Something really terrible is going to happen to the general market. And obviously, bears, dramatics out there, they love to talk about this. We have not seen this. This is where things, and even more, we just plow into another argument here. This is where a lot of these tech people come out, what we've seen here. Even Elon Musk saying that we are on the cuffs of this future where we're going to see a wealth that we have never seen in the market here. And obviously he's talking about AI. He's talking a lot about AI. So what 2026 brings is hard to say. More than likely, what we can say, things that we already know to be true, is that we're going to have more rate cuts, okay? Because Jerome Powell's leaving, Trump's going to put someone in charge that is going to push that rate cut button 100%. The Feds are going to print money. It's going to increase inflation, but obviously it's this tug of war right now that we're seeing right now. So bank stocks, no doubt about it, will more than likely, as long as the market and the economy keeps it somewhat together, they will continue to do well. They already are. There's no lack of their quarterlies right now. I'm a buyer of Robinhood for the long term. I really do love this stock. I love this company. I have been using Robinhood here since, I've been trading, I don't know, 8-10 years ago, whenever I started a portfolio with them. So, and say what you want about Robinhood, but, we're talking about the company and we're talking about the stock here. Robinhood is going to continue to grow here. It's going to continue to be a very fancy stock, well-known stock. And, if you're willing to sit here and put in the time with it, it's going to continue to serve people well. And I do think that Robinhood is going to do something that's very special, and that's they're going to continue to innovate. When we see companies that continue to innovate, whether it's an AI company, a bank, whatever it be, they're going to do well off that. They just are, because they're setting themselves aside from the competition and going, well, look over here. We're doing this. We have this money coming in over here when our competition doesn't. And this is why I think even now we see it with Robinhood and SoFi. You're going to see it more in the future, where these two kind of break apart and they go their separate ways, which it's already kind of happening. And they're going to meet somewhere back up here in a few years, something where they're both in this high $billion whatever range. And it's going to be very interesting where people have, where they've rode, this roller coaster ride with them. So, yeah, I love Robinhood, man. I think this is such a unique opportunity for investors. I really do. I mean, you got to really think about what they're pushing into here. It's very special. And they're doing fantastic on quarterlies, and that is the main thing we want to see and talk about. So, as long as they continue up in this $1 billion quarterly range, it's going to serve them well. That's the excuse that they need right now. They're still coming out with $1 billion+ quarterlies. That's good. That's fantastic. Palantir. So today, man, take a picture. This may not be here for long. Today, Palantir went down to high 160s, and that is something, this is a moment. This is why I said I've been buying. I have been buying stocks. No matter what happens, I've been buying. Now, for the people, I know there's two groups of people in here. There maybe more than that, but there's people in here going, why are you buying Palantir at such a high price? It's not worth it, man. What are you doing? You shouldn't be buying it. I get that, friend. I really do. But also, I have to be honest with you. It's not fair for me to totally lie to people. I've been buying Palantir since this stuff was $7-10, okay? I had Palantir at different price points, and right now me buying this at high 170s, 180s, where this is at right now, I'm totally okay with that, because I do believe wherever this market goes from this point forward, Palantir is obviously in this cycle right now to where it is finding money. It is finding unbelievable deals. It is continuing to shock the market right now. And we know too that this next quarterly is going to be another amazing quarterly. So with that, it's really interesting because Palantir has time to suffer. You know what I mean? I'll explain what I mean by that. Palantir has time to suffer, which means, Palantir has this like, go like what's that card in Uno where it's like skip? It has like a skip you moment here, because even if they come out with a quarterly, say like Q2 of next year, Q3 of next year, and that quarterly still beats, but it's just, it's okay. Even at that point, Palantir just coming out with like an okay quarterly would be devastating. It would be like, the Bears would be like, ha ha, like, there it is. They're running out of money. There it is. Finally. That's what they're wanting. That's what they're waiting for. But even that right there, Palantir's not going to like crash down to $50. It's not going to crash down to $100. Palantir is still in this high movement of revenue, of deals, all this kind of stuff right now. I'm very much in the bull camp here. I'm very much in the Dan Ives camp, where we're talking about Palantir becoming $1 trillion, $2 trillion market cap here in the near future. When Palantir starts to slow down, I'll start to maybe say some, semi-negative things about it. But right now, we're not seeing that. I get that Palantir is overpriced. We've known that. This is not a secret. But with that, the thing too that you're having to pay for here with Palantir is the fact that Palantir is popular. This is probably one of the top 5 most popular stocks in the market right now. It's been this way. It's nothing new. So there's going to be a tax on that, 100%. There's also going to be a tax that Palantir has high volume. If you didn't notice, you could have, with a nice chunk of change here, you could have bought Palantir around 10 o'clock today for $169, and then sold it at one point today for almost $179. That's almost a $10 price hike on each share. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. Now, obviously, you've got to have some change to do that, but there's people that do. Even if you were able to buy 1 or 2 shares, that's a okay day in the market for just a regular investor, somebody making a quick little buck and plowing that right back into their portfolio. One thing that we've seen with Palantir, it's just looking for the excuse to run. I have sat here and obviously talked about deals. Palantir is continuing to get deals. There's deals that they just received on the past month here that really weren't even on this quarterly that came out here. And I still think that there is a world that we could be living in here when this Q4 comes out, in the beginning of next year, to where what if it's past, and Palantir's done this, what if it's past their expectations? What if this next quarterly comes out, $1.5 billion, 1.5? What is that going to mean? I do think there's a world where, and I think we could be living it, but obviously the market's going to have to come back too. The market's going to have to help. This Tom Lee market of the S&P going to 7,000 point range here, it's going to have to happen. Now, obviously, there's drama in the market right now. Can this be cleaned up soon? We've seen stuff like this be cleaned up. The market has done really well this year with just like getting over drama really fast. Okay, it's done that very well. It's cleaned up messes very well. Things that to a normal market would shock it for weeks, a month or two. But this market is looking for any excuse to run. And it has excuses right now. There are excuses for bad and good, but there are excuses for this market to run. What we just went through with these quarterlies. Some of these companies are projecting even bigger numbers for their Q4. So there are reasons why Palantir could just run back up to $180, $190, $200. I don't think that is crazy to say at all. I get that Michael Burry is betting against it. Now, I will say this too, is that, Michael has not won every, put option that he's done on stocks, and I like Michael. Like, I don't have anything wrong with it. I think he's a genius. Like, there's no doubt about it. I've done deep dives on this guy. I think The Big Short is one of my favorite movies of all time. Go figure. But I don't trust that the market is going to stay down right now, and that's concerning to me. And that's why I have been a buyer. And if I'm wrong, that's okay, because it'll come back. It always comes back. We know that. So friends, I'm going to shut up now. I will be back talking to you tomorrow. I want to wish everyone best of luck. What a time to be in the market. What a time. This is wild. Truly wild. There's a lot of great deals out there right now. And obviously, people may think that, they may not think that. There are a lot of great deals if the market comes back here. If we get the market back by the end of the month. If we get the market by the end of the month, this is going to be one of those opportunities where people go like, oh my God, I should have. Every time we have a huge crash, it always leads up to a huge run. So do we believe this? Even if these if this court appeal with these tariffs is bad, does the market go, all right, well, whatever, let's run? Did the Feds come out with another rate cut here in December? What does that look like? What does that do to the market? Did we just get everything what we lost back and the market kind of cools down right there? It's hard to say. Friends, take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.